Hey everybody, ExxotikGaming here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with some more PUBG and we're doing a bit of a science experiment in today's video. So, a little over a year ago, I think it was like in February 2019, I made a very viral PUBG video titled I Got Banned from PUBG Mobile. The whole point of that video is another science experiment. What I basically did was I took a USB cord with a little adapter type thing, plugged it up into my phone where the sun don't shine, and I hooked up a mouse and a keyboard to play on an Android device. Yes, I was playing PUBG on an Android device with a mouse and a keyboard. The whole point of that video was to see how quickly PUBG could detect that I was using external hardware to play this game, because only an idiot doesn't know that you play far better using a mouse and a keyboard than using simple touchscreen. Unless you're like the 10 amazing streamers out there that play for like 20 hours a day every single day. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the average player. They're going to be much better using a mouse and a keyboard than touchscreen. Believe it or not, I was able to play an entire match before I got detected. I was able to kill like 20 people before the game was like, oh, you're using a mouse and a keyboard. I'm gonna ban you. And then it finally banned me. I mean, come on. A whole match? I was playing for like 30 minutes or more. And because of that, and because of the fact that when you look at the comment sections of my last videos and you see so many people continually saying that they have hacker problems and cheater problems in PUBG, I am going to be doing that again in today's video. We are going to be doing it a little bit differently, but I am going to be playing PUBG essentially on an Android device with a mouse and a keyboard. And hopefully in today's video, we are hopefully going to get detected far sooner than we did in 2019. Please, for the love of God, if you are listening to my voice right now, do not do this at home. I am purposely trying to get my account banned. I created a level 1 account because I'm only going to go up against bots. What, is the computer going to start crying? No, they're too stupid to do that. They're not going to report me, okay? I'm testing the actual system that's going to detect whether or not I'm using a mouse and a keyboard, all right? And just please, don't do this at home because no one likes cheaters. I hate people that use a mouse and a keyboard because it's just an unfair advantage. You're lame if you do that. I'm sorry. Leave a like on this video if you agree with me. But yeah, guys, subscribe for more PUBG content, and I'm going to show you guys sort of what I'm going to be doing in order to make this thing happen. So here we are now on the Google Play Store, and to give you an idea of how easy something like this is, all you need to do is search keyboard mouse mapper, right? And the fact that things like this still exist on the Google Play Store, I have no idea why they do. A lot of them don't work, obviously. I mean, we can assume something like this with only 2.5 star rating probably isn't going to work, right? So what I actually did is this is my first attempt. I haven't tested this thing out before. I'm downloading this sketchy looking thing, right? I would be willing to bet it's probably not going to work too well because you can start to see how reviews like these two people are copied and pasted. So obviously this thing has artificially high reviews. Is this thing going to work? I have no idea, but there is another computer component to this that we have to download. And I just want to take like 5 seconds to pray for me right now. Okay, everybody pray that I don't get a virus because this website looks sketchy, okay? But I'm doing it as a science experiment. And if I get a virus, it definitely was not worth it. But you know what? We're just going to bank on that doesn't happen, okay? I'm going to download the 64-bit version. Oh, dear Lord. It's the TC Games freaking 64-bit. I don't even know. Oh, my God. God help me. Do I want to allow this app to make changes to my device? I don't think so. Oh, no. But I'm going to click yes. What just happened? So here's a little tip by ExxotikGaming to you guys, all right? You should never just click Express Install. That is a bad decision on any of these sketchy things. You want to do the custom installation and make sure it doesn't install anything else, okay? Very important. But it looks like from this, right, if they're being legitimate, there's no other weird app that they're downloading, some sketchy browser or other thing like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a desktop shortcut, install now, and we're going to hope for the best here. We can see the shortcut right here on the top left of my screen, and hopefully with this, we're going to be able to connect this up with my phone and then be able to play PUBG using a mouse and a keyboard on my Android device. All right, guys, so I'm actually extremely surprised that this actually works. I'm very happy that I didn't get a virus. Yay, great. My antivirus didn't detect anything, but I mean, hey, you never really know with these types of things. They might actually do something like that. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen, though. We're doing this as a science experiment, though, right? You got to take some risks when you're doing some types of experiments. But I want to show you guys on my screen that I got everything set up, right? Here, you can see in the face cam, I'm moving my little guy around. He's moving around on the regular screen. Great, fantastic. Minimal clothing on, but it's whatever. And I also got all of the key mapping set up, as you can see here. WASD to move, the firing, right click, all of your other stuff, just like you would have with, your normal emulator type of stuff. So I would assume this is going to be very similar to an emulator, but this is not just like a regular emulator. No, hopefully the game is going to detect that I'm still playing on an Android device, and hopefully it's going to do something about that. So I'm going to full screen this thing now. I'm going to just jump right in, right? You got to jump in because you never really know when this thing is going to detect. Could happen right now. Could happen in a long time from now. But fingers crossed it won't be too long before it actually detects us. So what I decided to do is a little bit of a voiceover here on the gameplay that you are watching right now. This was my very first match that I jumped into, okay? You got the key bindings there. You can see it. I wanted to make it full screen so at least it looked decent. One thing I did notice is it got very blurry at times when I was playing, and it certainly didn't give me the best viewing experience when I tried to see enemies far away. On a big, gigantic screen, trying to emulate an Android screen was not very good. That is one thing I had to note. But yeah, I was basically kind of figuring out how these controls worked as I was playing the game. I mean, it was literally match number 1, game number 1. I had no idea how things worked. I didn't even look at the controls because I'm a noob like that. I thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't. But it was interesting because as this match progressed, and you'll notice this when you watch the next couple of minutes of gameplay, I started to get better. Like the very first time, like this, I mean, I was like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I click? How do I fire, right? And that was a very, very embarrassing turn of past couple of seconds there. But as the match progressed, I started to get much better. I mean, I'm talking like Mini 14, insanely fast firing rate. Something like that, a semi-auto weapon was becoming like my best friend because you can click the left click mouse button way faster than you can tap a button on your screen. I mean, maybe you can tap your phone screen faster, but it's certainly not going to be accurate because you got to control the recoil and other stuff like that, and it's just so much simpler doing that with a mouse. And anybody that starts playing on an emulator like this will start to realize that very, very quickly. And that's sort of where the problem comes in. You get somebody like me who's literally never played a match before on an emulator, and he sucks, right? I mean, you can see the gameplay. I'm not better than a streamer who plays on a touchscreen. But then you start to look at other people who play for hours at a time every single day. They, are an avid emulator player on something like this. They start to get better than people who are even some of the best touchscreen players. Because, I mean, you can't deny, even with something like that, it is so easy to control that recoil. It's just unbelievable. I mean, that's probably the biggest difference between somebody who plays with an emulator, with a mouse and a keyboard, versus somebody who plays with touchscreen. Kind of hard to control recoil on a touchscreen, especially with heavy recoil weapons like the M762 and the AKM. But on this, it's really not much of an issue at all. You're noticing right here, I was a complete and utter noob. What I basically was realizing is I didn't have my driving controls set up properly, so I resorted to literally just clicking the buttons with my mouse, which you're seeing right now. And driving was not a fun time. Driving was not good at all. I had to redo those controls later on for a later match if I ever wanted to do that, but hey, you know what? We can still kill bots like Abdel right there. He stood no match. Mostly because he stood in the way and he didn't bother moving. I mean, I guess maybe he thought he was like the Terminator or something. Who the heck freaking knows, man? You never really knows what goes on in bots' minds. I can't even speak, but you know what? It's whatever. One thing to note is if you want to have your mouse go freely when you're using something like this, is there's a special key binding that you have to press in order to unlock your mouse, right? Because I'm using my mouse to move around my character in order to view, right? But if, for example, I wanted to customize my weapon, change my scope, for example, maybe from a 4 times to a 2 times because I was going into like pachinki and I didn't want to have such a high ranged scope, you would have to press a button and then unlock your mouse. And that's the one disadvantage to where somebody who plays with a mouse and keyboard would have. Once you have your mouse unlocked, like if somebody decides to shoot at you, you have to have super fast reflexes, unlock your mouse once again, and then start shooting at the enemy player. You're pretty much immobile as you're doing that. So that's one thing to note. What I did was I drove over to Pachinki. I wanted to try to come in contact with as many people as possible, right? I mean, obviously, most of them were bots. Like, I mean, this guy right here, he's shooting at me. He's standing out in the middle of the open. Look at this. That's a bot. That's not a real player. That's a computer. This other guy right here, he thinks he's clever going inside a building. I'm sorry, but that's a bot as well. No real player would do something like that. So bots were not going to be the ones that were going to report me. But then again, I went into this video expecting that the system would like already detect that I'm using a mouse and keyboard already. I wouldn't have thought that you actually had to get somebody to report you before anything actually happened. I mean, if I was only coming in contact against bots, I don't think I would ever have any issue at all. I don't think I would have ever gotten reported, and I think the game would have just been like, okay, whatever, I don't care, doesn't matter to me. Right here, here's a perfect example of you being completely immobile. I was trying to move around, but my mouse was there, right? And I had to figure out for a second what the heck I was supposed to do to lock my mouse once again so I could actually kill that guy. So that was one thing to note. I was completely immobile for a few seconds there, and I was panicking. I almost died to a bot. That was not good at all. I was a complete noob then, but hey, everything worked out. Everything was under control. I decided to, take out my SKS, shoot 17 times, and hit the bot twice, 3 times. Yes, very, very accurate, I must say. Again, I was just getting used to the controls, right? So, I mean, you have to think about how somebody who's played this for hours at a time is very, very good. And they're basically playing like you would play PUBG on PC, right? The original PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. They're that good when you're playing up against other mobile players. And you can see how that is certainly not a good thing. It's going to make people very unbalanced. Anybody that plays on a PC is going to be like worlds times better. It's just crazy. But toward the end here, something pretty interesting happened. I got that guy, the bot, that just was like, screw it, bullets are hitting me, whatever, it doesn't matter to me, I'm invincible. And then I obviously showed him wrong. But look at this. I don't know if you guys will catch it, but I was looking at the airdrop, and you see that motorcycle fly past? Look at it. Here, hold on a second. Let's look one time more. Yeah, that was actually a player. Out of the 14 people that I saw, the 15th person, the final person, was an actual player, right? So I finally had a chance to have somebody report me and something was going to be done. And, well, I decided to continue being a noob. I just ran at him because that's what I do. And, well, as you'll see what happens, the recoil control on the M249, even with the 4x scope, was pretty manageable. I killed the guy and nothing happened. Look at that. You got the match ends in 30 seconds thing and I got the results. And then there we go. I won, and nothing happens. So, hey, apologies for the hair, by the way. I just took a shower, and it's all messed up. But that's not the point. As you can see, there is a slight problem with all of this. I was able to play an entire match using a mouse and a keyboard, about a 30-minute long match, and nothing happened. I never got even detected one time. Never got a message that said, hey, you're using an external device. That's a problem. And you look at this versus what happened in 2019, and the game has gotten worse at detecting stuff like this as opposed to over a year ago. That's a problem. So if you ever wondered how people who cheat this game, who use a mouse and a keyboard, actually do it, they do it like this. 5 minutes, and they are already connecting their mouse and their keyboard to their phone, and then they can go on with their day and destroy people who play with touch controls and then basically ruin this entire game. If you do use a mouse and a keyboard, I don't like you. Plain and simple, right? I am only going to do this one time. this was a science experiment, and I've already uninstalled the app off of my phone because, to be honest, I don't want something like this that could be potentially taking my data. Something like that on my computer that might be giving me a virus. But I wanted to make this video to pretty much show you guys how easy it is for somebody to exploit this game and how there's nothing done in the game code that actually detects that and then gets rid of the players who do that. I mean, we have a massive problem, and seeing how easy it was for somebody like me, who's literally never done something like this before aside from one time in 2019, how easy is it for other people? There could potentially be thousands, if not tens of thousands of players that are using something like this right now, and nothing is being done about it. Can you even trust the leaderboards? I wouldn't. I mean, come on. So 10 cents, if you are watching this, please do something about this. And if you are somebody else that's watching this video, please send this to 10 cent, right? Whenever they upload a video on Twitter, for example, or Instagram, just spam them with the link to this video. And that way they can see that there is a massive problem in this game, okay? I am counting on you guys to make a difference here, okay? Because I do not have any contact of the game creators. I can't do anything myself. Maybe other YouTubers can, but I can't, and I need you guys, the masses, to actually do something about this, okay? Let's make PUBG Mobile great again, okay? Let's make that happen. We're gonna make this game restore to the glory days of when it was much more fair. We had a lot less cheaters, and this game was 1,000 times better. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Leave a like if you learned something new, you saw how people are exploiting this game, and subscribe to my channel for tons more PUBG content coming out very soon. With that being said, that's it though. We're out of time. I'll see you guys later.